Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 478. We have a very special interview today with my friend Antoinette. And for people who want to know who Antoinette is she is a deaf upcoming actress, and she does amazing things. And I came across her profile, and I just had to have her on the show. And I thought she would be a perfect inspiration for people out there with disabilities. And we also have Austin, her translator. And for people out there who want to know why Austin doesn't want to speak, he has taken the fifth. I guess I have that impression on people. With that being said, starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, okay. First, I want to say thank you, Keith, for having me involved in this talk show and introducing me. I'm originally from a deaf family. Mother, father, and brother are all deaf. I feel fortunate. Why? Because they've given me an identity, something I can identify with. I was born deaf. Okay, I'm just gonna move on and live with it. I learned American Sign Language first. My parents already gave me American Sign Language as my language. So from then on, I started learning other languages like English and being involved in your world. And I really love being involved in both worlds. For example, I'm married a hearing man. Our children are hearing. And they take ASL and they accept my deaf culture inside. And our relationship is amazing. And our family is very successful and amazing with our relationship.
No, absolutely. You're a true inspiration.
Thank you.
Now, my next question I was going to ask you was, how was life growing up? Because I know you're deaf, but was it 100 times difficult than a normal person?
I don't like for people to think that I'm like not normal or different than other people along society. I just don't see it. That's where I just drop it all and I put the wall there and I throw it all away. Really, we're all the same. We're all humans. We have hearts. Our hearts all beat. We all have eyes. We all view. We all feel emotion. And just except I can't hear. That's all. But mentally, in my brain, I have creativity. We all have the same. So I sometimes use, sometimes I'll say I'm different. Why? Because I get to pay attention more, or people pay attention to me more. That's all, because of my gestures.
Now, for people who are out there who are deaf, is it true that if they can't speak, or if I wrote something down, would they be able to write it back? Or how would the communication be? Because I have no idea.
Perfect. Okay, I understand. I don't want to speak for other deaf people, but because some deaf people can speak perfectly with their voice and you couldn't notice. But fluently, not completely, it sounds a little different in their voice, but it doesn't mean that they are better than us, some deaf people who can't speak as well. They're not better than those. I don't want you to see it like that. Sometimes they speak and their voice, it's really impressive, but their writing and their typing and reading, it may not be so efficient. But some of the deaf people who can't speak very well, their signing, their writing, their English, their reading could be phenomenal. You can't really label the group as one type of way, or one group of deaf people are better than the other. It's all pretty equal, and they all have their own various ways of dealing with their language. If you can speak, great, phenomenal, that's awesome. You have a phenomenal skill. You have the talent as a deaf person to speak, that's great. but some people don't. I do use my voice sometimes. If I need to use my voice, I'll go ahead and use my voice and speak. Is it perfect like you guys? No, it's not. But it's better than nothing, and I can still deal with it. That's if it's really a problem, I resort to writing, and we can write and have communication just as well.
Well, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, can you give us an example?
Like when I use my voice?
Yes.
Yes. Like if I go to the restaurant and I order food, I can tell them, I'll point and I can say I want a salad and grilled chicken with sometimes if they don't understand that I said grilled and they don't understand, I can just point at the menu or chicken as well. So it's a process. My voice isn't always perfect. Sometimes it's a little distorted, but most of the time they catch what I'm saying. And I took a speech class. It was sticky for the deaf community because we feel that we're kind of fed up with the hearing people who kind of wanted to control us and make us deaf people become hearing, and you must use your voice and you must speak. We really didn't like that. They really kind of forced us to use the voice, but sometimes deaf people like using their voice. It made them feel, but I don't want to just throw away all that. But those who do, I respect that. And you have to know when you have to use. I know when to use my voice, and I use it when appropriate when I can. Is that clear enough for you?
Yeah. All right. So what I was gonna say is, for an example, for the campaign, stand up and use your voice. What are you against that?
Don't care. I'm not afraid. I'll use my voice. But yeah, it's weird because I can see the hearing's reaction. I can tell if they understand me or not, and if I need to use my voice a little more. But fully, for 100% to get my voice, using an interpreter is the best possible way. If there's one-on-one or one or two, three people, we can speak it out and work it out. But if there's a crowd, a presentation, or a doctor's office, really important information that can't be skewed, it's truly best to have an interpreter because the interpreter can make it a lot clearer between both languages, and I can see pretty easily. But for a meeting, when I stand and do a presentation for an hour, I must have an interpreter because I can't. It's super easy. Question and answer. There's many different people that are reading lips and all these small people, and I can't read their lips. There's so many people. It's too small. I need an interpreter for all that information. But if it's a small, slow conversation, one-on-one, I could speak and use gestures to facilitate communication. Sorry, I was a little expansive.
No, that's fine. It was cutting in and cutting out, but we got it. Now, the next thing I was going to ask you is, do you think being deaf is a disability? And it is. But have you ever thought about getting a hearing aid? And would that make a difference? Or wouldn't it?
Using the word disability, honestly, sometimes it depends on what we're doing. If the phone is ringing and I grab the phone and say, I can't pick it up and say hello, I do feel disabled or prevented, yes. But as far as now in this example, I have this interpreter here. We can still facilitate communication. We could totally, and the interpreter builds the bridge between our languages. So I don't really feel disabled because the interpreter is here. We can have that normal connection on that level. So it really depends on the situation. We do feel disabled sometimes.
What about the hearing aid? Would that make a difference, or?
I'm completely deaf, extremely deaf. With a hearing aid, I'll only hear little tiny sounds, not frequency. Maybe you can hear a siren, But will it help me with words or like having a full conversation? I don't think I'll comprehend or understand a deep conversation like that. I like hearing sound for fun, and different sound is truly interesting. But a cochlear implant, some people ask me, "Do you want a cochlear?" And I say, "No, honestly, I've already developed my identity of who I am. I love who I am. I love myself, Antoinette. That's who I am. That's me. A cochlear can completely change me and change my identity. So I wouldn't want to do that."
All right. Now, as being an actress, is it really hard to be an actress, and have you been stereotyped?
No, really, it's a really big world. It's a tough world for you as well, for every single person. It's a huge world, with a lot of problems. It's tough to succeed and get in. I see all these Hollywood actors, and many of them are hearing actors, waiting and waiting and waiting for that job, or waiting for the phone call from that audition, extremely eager. And a lot of people struggle, and it's tough to get in. I'm here, you're hearing, I'm deaf, I struggle to get in as well. Yes, how they look at me is kind of different. Like their reactions are, "You're deaf, you can't be an actress," but it's really not about us, it's about them. It's about their judgment. It's about them being fair, and it's blocking them. And I know in the back of my head, I can just be soft and be gentle with it, and then try to open them and and I tell them, "I'm okay. I'm not gonna hurt you," and try to help them to be open, like try to be open to me. That's how I tend to deal with that and get in, because of my attitude about it. I stay positive about it, and that really helps a lot.
No, absolutely.
And for anyone, it doesn't matter who, you're gonna struggle. It's important to have that positive attitude.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to ask you two more hard-hitting questions, and I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you want.
Okay.
Very.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
Maria Camille Dixon.
I'm Adelitas Way.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Me, Mark Medley.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Neely.
Barry Papick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Orange Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
This is Goldar.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
My name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm going to come kick your ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here is Austin and Antoinette. This is episode 478, and I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. Now, it's the last 15 minutes left. I have two questions for you, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you. You can ask me anything you want. And the first question I was going to ask you is, how do you feel about social media? Do you think social media can make you or break you?
As who I am, being involved in communication, or for my goal in working in my profession? Do you mean by being deaf or my profession?
Yep, both.
Both. Oh, okay. For the general deaf community, we're truly thrilled to be involved in social media. Truly feel connected with communication as well. It's another way of communication. And now the deaf people don't only live in one small community. They can go all over the world and find out how to communicate. It's truly incredible that you can, with social media, and it's really, really awesome for us, and it helps us a lot for a lot of communication and getting connected to anyone all over the world. For my career, I believe it's truly important to be involved in social media, to show who I am and show them what I want and show them my interests and so they can get a better understanding of me. And that helps as well. It's not a guarantee, not completely guaranteed, but it can completely help. It's helped in many different ways. Going out, networking with a person, or you person to person, you get more of a, I think for me, well, really it depends on what level. Many starting, when you start, it's sure, social media is completely helpful. But from now on, or later on in your career, it's really nice to network and meet other people and do it that way as well. But in the beginning, social media is really nice.
All right, and my other question is, how did you guys meet, and how did you what came to you to get a developer, sign language, or interpreter?
Can you clarify the question again?
Okay, well, how did you guys meet?
I've known his mother for Marlene, this is her name sign, for a really long time. We went to college, Gallaudet University. That's where deaf people all flood to and take college there. Gallaudet's a deaf university. His mom and I were best friends during college, during that time. I met him when he was a baby, growing up. They lived in Chicago. I moved to here in California, really far, but they recently just moved here as well because they miss me. No, I'm just kidding. But they moved here for work and to better their lives, and I'm super happy that they live this close to us. Austin, I'm super thrilled. He's really involved in the interpreting field. I can't hear, but people in the community always tell me his voice and how he decides words and interpreting, and it's truly on top. That's why I called him. I told him to come here and interpret this interview, so I can look best.
Now, my other question, actually, I asked you my two questions, so I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there anything you want to know, anything you want to ask me? This is your time.
Okay, yes, I do. First of all, I was truly touched when you contacted me. Excited, yes. I wanted to be involved and support your talk show, and of course. And you're truly involved in our deaf community now as well, and you're totally willing to see the interpreter and see what it looks like and work together. And it really inspires me. I love your attitude, and I'm really thankful you decided to do this. Now, I would like to know, how do you feel, or what made you feel you had to contact me, to contact Antoinette? How did you come up with that process? I was really curious of how you got touched and wanted to contact me.
Long story short, is I wanted to show people with a learning disability I was able to accomplish something. I read and learn at a 5th grade level. And I'm socially awkward. I have depression and panic attacks. And this is just therapy for myself. Say, hey, you labeled me as mentally disturbed, handicapped, retarded, but I'm going to show you, look at what I'm able to accomplish. And by that, I'm turning myself into an example for people out there. Say, labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and to prove to them, you can step out to something.
Wow, amazing! I had no idea what you had inside of you, I'm glad you truly found yourself and who you are, and you showed it to the world, and you put all all disabilities aside, and you really just show you really truly want to live and enjoy life. That's truly what brings success, and I really believe in that, and I'm truly inspired. I really, really, really want to say thank you, like extremely thank you.
No, absolutely, and I pretty much, like I said, it's all about breaking the labels, showing them labels don't dictate who you are, who you're going to be. You can prove to them, you can send them out to something. And I have interviewed, a lot of people think my talk show is just catered to the disabled, but I'm showing you I can also interview other people. I have interviewed one guy who has cerebral palsies, who's in a wheelchair, but he's a filmmaker. And another one who's in a wheelchair, but she's an actress. I interviewed you, and another woman who was deaf. I interview, anyone who's disabled and has a story. I interviewed actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, cheerleaders, dancers. You name them, I got them. If they're more than welcome to have a normal conversation to support my cause and message, then they're more than welcome to be on the show.
Amazing. It's truly beautiful.
No, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well. And thank you, the interpreter, Austin, as well. Austin Brady. Thank you so much for being involved and helping us and supporting this.
I do have a couple questions for you off the air about wrapping up our interview segment. And
okay.
The first question I was going to ask you, are you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram? Are you on any of those?
Yes, I have all of them.
And the other one is, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes? And how do you feel now?
I screamed yes. I was truly ecstatic. I want people out there to see this, to see that, to stop oppressing, stop labeling, stop underestimating us and not thinking that we can do it. Like, stop it. Like, we're completely equal. We're on the same level, and that our heart beats just like you guys, and just like everybody else. Life, period. That's really what goes on. And I was truly inspired, and that's what really made me want to do this.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up our interview segment, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Yay, thank you so much.